Imagine taking a human from 50,000 years ago and placing him in front of a modern supermarket. He walks through the automatic doors and stops completely. He does not know where to look. In front of him, there are more types of food than he has ever seen in his entire life. Bright boxes cover entire shelves. Refrigerated shelves are filled with meat. There are rows of bread, chocolate, cereal, and snacks in shapes he has never seen before. For most of his life, finding food required patience, skill, and sometimes real danger. But here, food is everywhere. He only needs to reach toward a shelf, and he starts eating. So what would happen to him? Would his ancient body somehow protect him from gaining weight, or could a Stone Age hunter become obese just like a modern human? We often imagine ancient people as naturally fit. They walked for miles, carried heavy objects, hunted, gathered, and worked with their bodies every day. It is easy to assume they stayed lean because they were constantly burning calories, but movement may not be the full explanation. The biggest difference between their world and ours was not exercise. It was access to food. Hunter-gatherers lived with uncertainty. A successful hunt could feed a group for days. A failed hunt could mean returning with nothing. Fruit might be plentiful for a few weeks and then disappear. Ancient people did not wake up knowing exactly what breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be. They ate when food was available. When it was not, their bodies had to wait. That uncertainty made long-term weight gain extremely difficult. To become obese, a person normally needs to consume more energy than the body uses, not just once but repeatedly over a long period, but abundance rarely lasts. A good season might be followed by drought. Winter could remove plants and drive animals away. This makes fat sound like a problem. But for most of human history, fat was protection. Stored body fat was emergency fuel. It helped people survive illness, cold weather, injury, and periods without food. The human body therefore became very good at storing excess energy. Over many generations, the ability to gain fat became an advantage. That ancient system is still inside us. Our bodies are not designed to ignore calorie-rich food. They are designed to notice it. Sweetness once meant ripe fruit or honey, both rare and valuable sources of energy. Fat came from meat, fish, nuts, or marrow. Salt was also difficult to obtain. When ancient humans found these things, eating as much as possible made sense. There was no guarantee they would find them again soon. The problem is that the modern world gives ancient instincts unlimited opportunities. Sugar is no longer rare. Fat does not require a dangerous hunt. Salt is added to almost everything, and modern food often combines all three. This creates something ancient humans almost never experience. Food that contains enormous amounts of energy but requires almost no effort to obtain. People often believe that hunter-gatherers burn vastly more calories than modern office workers. But research on modern hunter-gatherer groups has shown that total daily energy use does not always rise as much as we might expect. One famous example is the Hadza of Tanzania. They walk long distances, hunt animals, gather plants, and carry supplies through difficult terrain. Researchers expected them to burn far more calories than people with sedentary jobs. Surprisingly, the difference was much smaller than expected. The body adjusts its energy budget. When more energy is used for physical activity, the body reduces energy use in other areas. But physical activity alone does not explain why ancient populations stayed lean. Food intake mattered more than many people assume. Ancient foods also affected the body differently. Wild meat was rich in protein, roots and tubers contained fiber, and fruit required chewing. These foods created strong feelings of fullness. Modern processed foods are much easier to overeat. Think about boiled potatoes versus potato chips. Both come from the same plant, but one fills you quickly. The other has been dried, fried, salted, and concentrated. A large number of calories can be eaten before the stomach feels full. Ancient humans never faced shelves filled with foods designed to be eaten rapidly and repeatedly. Their problem was finding enough calories. Our problem is often stopping after we already have enough, but this was not always the case. For most of human history, the supply of food was never guaranteed. But agriculture began changing these things around 10,000 years ago. Humans started growing crops and storing grain, and food became more predictable. But farming did not create modern obesity immediately. Harvests could still fail, and famine remained common. The final transformation happened much later. When industrial food production made calories cheap, concentrated and available almost everywhere. Now returning to the ancient human standing inside the supermarket. At first he might eat until he felt uncomfortable. Then he would eat again the next day because the food was still there. His brain would treat every sugary or fatty product as a rare opportunity. His instincts would tell him to take advantage of abundance before it disappeared, but it would not disappear. The shelves would be refilled, the bakery would make more bread. Given enough time, that ancient humans could absolutely gain excessive weight. Not because he was weak. He could become obese because his body almost worked exactly like ours. Ancient humans stayed lean because their environment prevented continuous overeating. They experienced temporary abundance, followed by unavoidable scarcity. Modern humans experience abundance followed by more abundance. That is the real mismatch. Our bodies still behave as though famine could begin tomorrow. Those instincts once kept our ancestors alive. Today, the same instincts operate inside a world they were never prepared to face. Ancient humans were not naturally protected from obesity. They simply lived in a world where becoming obese was almost impossible. We changed the world much faster than evolution could change the body. And now the survival system that once saved us can quietly work against us.